Hello, Steve's cat.
Yeah, I just want to point out the cat is a huge fan and apparently wanted to be in the interview, and now he's intimidated.
I'm way just over it.
So listen, man. I want to thank you for bringing Jonathan to life. You did such a phenomenal job with this. I mean that like seriously. I just really great work.
Thank
Um,
you, dude. Thanking you.
like I actually just almost got emotional there. I'm going to hold myself.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But I know how much John means to you as well. You've mentioned before how much, like, how your connection with John. So coming from you, thank you, brother. Thank you.
I'm curious if you could show John one of the scenes in the movie. Which scene would you want to show him first?
That's such a cool question, man. Like, my first instinct with that is like, he's seen every single scene of this movie. Like, he was directing this damn movie through Lin. You know what I mean? Like, we felt him every day. So, and he was giving us notes. He was keeping us on the straight and narrow. And through the edit as well, the whole thing, he was just working on us. But for me, I think I would love to sit with him, and there are two things that come to mind immediately. One is Boho Days, him and his friends, this impromptu musical theater improvisational song that he comes up with his buddies in his apartment. Just a celebration of Bohemia, a celebration of his life. I hope that he enjoys that song is back in Tick Tick Boom in our version. And then I think why I would love to sit with him and show him, me attempting to channel him in that Delacorte scene while trying to figure out this very, very difficult emotional initiatory moment where we have to figure out, how do we get through such loss? How do we meet loss? And how does that deepen us? Because I think it's that moment where he really accepts what's happening with his friend, what's happening with all of his friends, and with himself, with his girlfriend, with his life, with loss in its most essential form, that he's able to get to a deeper level of himself as a person and as a creator. And it leads him to writing Tick Tick Boom. It leads him to writing Rent. And he has to kind of re-engage and recommit to his duty as an artist that he feels in that very deep way.
One of the things about this movie and Tick Tick Boom is that it's constantly talking about the finite time we have and what to do with the time we are given. And I'm just curious, how did playing Jonathan and being part of this production possibly impact you in like your own life, and the choices you might want to make in the future?
Yeah, I think that's everything, dude. I think that is the big theme of the film. Like, how do we spend our time, and what's the thing that's going to make us sing that line? I want to spend my time this way. I'm going to spend my time this way. Like John gets to with realizing that he has no choice but to finish the hat. Like, he has to be at the piano every day. He has to sing to the back row, even if they don't want to listen to him. He has to keep doing it. And I think I've always tried to live, and that's why I feel a real connection to John, because I feel like he was tapped into some wisdom that I try to be aware of in my own life. But yeah, it affected me deeply. And I think, again, it comes back to an awareness that our time here is very limited, and that when we can only really be aware of that if we accept the idea of death as a really profound and important aspect of what it is to be alive. And obviously it's a part of the journey that John goes on himself, and it's a part of something that I've been going through in the last few years as well. I think we all have, to whatever degree, going through the pandemic. And of course, John was going through his own pandemic with the AIDS epidemic, and seeing his young friends from the LGBTQ plus community getting very sick and dying at a very, very young age, the profound, awful heartbreak of that. And then, of course, what other choice do you have? But if you're going to face that death, to realize and really kind of integrate the knowing that we are only here for a short time, and if we know that, then how are we going to spend it?
I'm curious. Listen, man, you can sing, and I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, I really enjoyed your work singing. And when did you actually realize, wait, I can actually do this? Because I know that Lin presented, he talked to you about doing the movie and asked you if you could sing. At what point did you realize I can actually do this? I have a voice. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not sure if you ever thought you could do it before.
I don't know whether I considered it. The way I put it is, Lin made a dream of mine come true that I didn't even know I had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's been a dream of mine to be in a musical. but I didn't own it because I was too scared of it potentially happening and failing. So, you know, sometimes it takes someone else to see where you can get to clearer than yourself, right? And Lin is that. Lin is this magical creature that awakens parts of you just by being in his orbit, that make you realize or find out aspects of yourself that you didn't even know existed, because he is so full of his own self-belief, his own artistic freedom and creativity. And, you know, you see him freestyling and you're like, how are you able to reach that level of total free play and brilliance? Like there's a self-belief there that I think is contagious. So for me, it was like, I will trust in this genius of musical theater. Even if I don't feel confident myself, I will borrow his confidence in me. And it was important because, as you know about John, you watch him singing, you watch him playing piano. It's he's playing to Madison Square Garden. He's Billy Joel playing to Madison Square Garden every time, whether he's in his apartment or whether he's on stage in the New York Theater Workshop. Like he is belting like his life depended on it, which it did. That's how he experienced it. So it was important for me to get to that place of throwing all inhibitions away and throwing all of it at the wall and just kind of putting it on the table and going, this is it, this is me. And I have to put every single cell towards serving Jonathan's every cell.